Why would someone not want their name attached to something? Maybe it's being a little critical of the powers that be, powers that are over him. And in this case, we're talking about a monk or a priest in the Christian firmament who has got some issues with the lifestyle. The Goliardic tradition is basically they are the second and third sons of wealthy people. Now, in a firstborn son, life is good. Dad is rich, and when he dies, by law, everything that is his becomes mine. All I got to do is sit there and encourage him to eat lots of bacon. Second sons, not so good. If everything goes to the firstborn son, what's the second son to do? To say nothing of the women, of course, but they get married off, whether they like it or not. But second sons, third sons, oh God. Third sons are always the worst. Second sons had no real way to support themselves, especially not to support themselves as gentlemen, which they have been raised to be in a wealthy household. They have been educated, generally. They have been given a kind of identity of an aristocrat. But what do you do when you are suddenly penniless? Which is effectively what they would be once Dad dies. Now, they can spend, and they probably did, spend their entire lives sucking up to their big brothers. Right you are, big bro! Hey! You beat me again at basketball! Oh, shucks, I just can't do anything with you. But the primary road open to them was the church. They could go and enter the church. They already knew how to read, so that helped. But it wasn't necessarily a rigid requirement. They would go and they could live a nice little life in a church. You're a prominent member of the community. You are given all your room and board. Often the trappings of the church looked like the trappings that you grew up with in a large ancestral home. Lots of wealthy stuff lying around. But the problem with that is, if you're a second son, a rich kid, do you really want to have to do all the godly stuff? If you're a rich kid, chances are you're used to eating pretty well, going out and cruising the ladies, lying around an awful lot, entertaining yourself, reading whatever you want, not necessarily always being little piety types. So they start to chafe at the restrictions. They start to become a little snarky. And that's what you see in Goliardic poetry. You see frequently anonymous examples of members of the church who don't particularly like the church. And so they stay anonymous. And so you get these poems and this art generally that celebrate a kind of pagan, worldly, dissolute, fun, often sexy lifestyle. It can be kind of spicy stuff. Let's take a look.